messed up. We are Squawking Dead. Sorry, I had to delay a little bit because the hotkey to switch transitions was a little screwed up. And I have to fix that in post. But anyway, welcome back. It's only been a 3-week break, but we're still kind of trying to get the hang of things right now. It's hence the half an hour lateness, so apologies. Second of all, I wanted to kind of... First of all, I'm David Cameo, your host. Nice to meet you. Hello. And to my right is Rachael Burt and Carol Gallardo underneath. Hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? And we're here to cover the mid-season premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. And it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, we're going to have a very healing therapy circle of an episode. And I'm getting reports that we have no sound.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let me just fix that. There will be sound in the audio podcast. My mic? Okay. Actually, let me just confirm. And of course I have to scroll down to do anything. Hey guys, we just need a little few minutes to kind of get up and running. Ooh. Ooh, hey Des, what's up? Well, don't worry, we'll restart the show. Because I want to give
practice run.
I want to give some shout outs at the top to like Nisa and Tom and Des. But give me a few seconds. Let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah, Meg hears me and Tom hears me and we're good. Okay, we are Squawking Dead and welcome back. See, this is way more energetic. We're here to cover the mid-season premiere of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5B, as they like to call it. And we want to say hello, welcome back. It was such a short trip. I mean, I got to tell you guys, I kind of needed the longer break. I went on vacation in the interim, and I came back the night of the mid-season premiere. So hence the reason why we're actually broadcasting on Wednesday. I'm your host, David Cameo. I'm joined by Carol. Wait, hold on. I have to say it right. Say it right, son. OG Squawking D. Carol G. And just Rachael Burt.
Hey.
I feel like
I'm here too.
Because I had reason. I figured out that there's a problem with me announcing you in that way. It's like, okay, it's Meg the Geek. And then it just gets worse as you go down the line. And then last but not least, Rachael Burt. This is just Rachael. Cosmo Mom 09. And if you haven't donated to her charity, you still have time to do that. The description, just go there, click the link, and she's $200 away from making that $1,000 goal to shave her head like Alpha. And she's going to be in Sonoy with a bald head.
I am.
Yeah, we're making this happen. It's happening today at the end of the stream.
$200. That's it.
We're doing a Jerry Lewis telethon right now. Anyway,
call in right now with your donate. No, I'm just kidding.
God, lady. This is like an old person reference. I'm sorry, people.
That was Jerry Lewis, though. That was a good one.
Yeah. I've heard him. Okay, I'm okay. I seriously have to keep scrolling down. No, and Tom is very sad that Meg is not on the show. But she says because she's on Facebook right now, I'm quitting anyway, Thomas. So yeah, okay, fair enough, right? It
made it on the show.
Yeah, I wanted to announce this before I would totally forget. I'm announcing an upcoming giveaway. If you're not following our social portals, start now. It's at Squawking Dead on Instagram. It's at Squawking Dead on Facebook. I mean, if you do, literally, facebook.com/Squawking Dead, you'll get there. And we are at Squawking_Dead on Twitter. The road to thousands. Basically, this giveaway is something that I kind of brainstormed, and with kind of a help with our little host committee, I kind of narrowed down how I wanted to do this, and we did such a good job of doing of of having our last giveaway, the Cameo Cameo.com shoutouts giveaway, that we're going to be doing that again. And the link to that giveaway, the giveaway will actually open Sunday night during our live podcast of next week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, because we will be broadcasting live on Sundays again, because like seriously, Talking Dead is not going to be back until the season finale. 10
premiere. Yeah, I was so pleased.
Well,
yeah,
are they not not covering the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead?
It didn't sound like it. He said, "I'll see you back October 6th for Walking Dead season 10." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?"
Wow.
I mean, yeah, that was what he said.
I thought they would be back for at least
the finale.
Yeah, that is some shit right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even see like Chris Hardwick. Like, well, first of all, okay, just so people know, the Talking Dead of last Sunday was way pre-recorded. By the way,
yeah.
So, and in some ways, I'm not even sure that that he actually watched this season's the episode of this week. Too, it didn't feel like it. Did it feel that way to you guys? Oh, well, did it? Well, I should ask if any of you guys watched it first.
Yeah, I watched The Talking Dead, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm up to speed.
Yeah, it was really, really recorded way early on. And so, like, the questions he was asking was like, okay, like, the scene between you and Isabel, and, you know, which is Sidney Lemon.
A few episodes ago.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Who's crawling on the floor? I saw somebody crawling on the floor back there or something. Carol on your screen, yeah.
I think that's my dog.
Okay. That would make sense. They're on all fours.
Yes.
So anyway, that's. I just think, I don't know. Just going back to. I want to close the book on this Talking Dead thing because I want to continue with the giveaway details. But yeah, it's just a strange thing to do. I mean, it takes away from the prestige, right?
I almost wonder if they were even planning on doing a Talking Dead after Fear if they hadn't had the season 10 special.
Oh yeah, well they must have pre-recorded the the mid-season finale, the the SDCC special, and this one way before. What is going on? Like, what are they? Is it like a money saving? But well, I should bring this up because, speaking of money, I guess there is a bit of. I actually didn't write this down, but there is headway into the lawsuit against AMC. Basically, there's a battle between Robert Kirkman and AMC, and they're basically suing AMC for like I think for like rights or like just money rights and stuff like that. Something to do with like, you know, paying like Kirkman and all the producers and stuff like that because they're not getting paid as well. There's something to do with that. It has something to do with like how the money flows, and the court is basically proceeding with that right now. It stems from originally the Frank Darabont lawsuit, and so Frank sued AMC, and then Kirkman et al. Sued AMC, and so the judge the previous judge kind of quit, and a new judge took over, and they're kind of threatening to kind of join the lawsuits together, even though these guys don't want to have anything to do with each other. So it's a mess, and that doesn't include the separate lawsuit for Fear the Walking Dead involving mostly David Alpert, in this other comic book. David Alpert is also a producer on the show. And there's a claim. We reported this like several episodes ago, but basically that David Alpert stole the idea for Fear the Walking Dead as a concept from another comic book regarding the zombie apocalypse. So there's that whole mess, and so I think AMC is doing whatever possible to not to basically hoard their nuts, so that in case of like a serious fallout from this lawsuit. Yeah. So, I mean, does that trickle down to Talking Dead? Is that what's going on? I mean, I don't know.
Could be why they haven't been on weekly either.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And so,
yeah.
Anyway, so we'll be taking over for them as long as possible. If we get more details about them covering the season finale, then whatever. But until then, we'll be taking over from here on in. So, what I wanted to say was the Road to Thousands, our new giveaway, which will be opening Sunday night when we do the next live podcast after the show. And what I wanted to say about that was the Cameo.com giveaway that we did in our last round of giveaways was really, really successful. We basically gave away 2 shout-outs at the top at the end of it, because it was like at the end of 8 weeks of giveaways, and it really, really did some good. And I was really happy with the winner, Aaron. And I kind of want to do the same thing again, except I kind of wanted to flip the script a little bit, because we're going to do one giveaway, like basically a single winner. But the catch is this: there's an unlock feature to this giveaway. So the Road to Thousands means every time we reach 1,000 followers or subscriptions or likes, etc. on Facebook, like in any one of these social media categories or on our YouTube, etc., we unlock another winner. Okay. And so it's going to be over a long period of time, like basically until, I guess 8 weeks, until The Walking Dead comes back. And so we will be announcing the winners on not October 6th, but I'll have to figure this out, because we have to tabulate the winners from our randomizers and all that stuff. We have to make sure that certain, whether all the votes like tally up correctly, false positives and stuff like that, because there are some verification routines that we go through. But the bottom line is that every time we reach 1,000 in any of the given categories, 1,000 follows or 1,000 subscriptions, etc., we unlock another winner. So and no limit. So there could be like an unlimited amount of winners for this giveaway. Well, not unlimited, obviously, but if there was, can you imagine, like, okay, we get 10,000 followers, there's 10 giveaways. That's 10 winners, and then you could basically choose from anybody on any walking. And I guess anyone, but I would say the Walking Dead cast members, or Fear the Walking Dead cast members, any of them that are on Cameo.com. So take a look at those if that's something you're interested in. Wait for the official announcement. We're going to be updating the website probably live. I'll have the website ready to go to be able to start entering. And then spreading the love. And then what's really good about these giveaways is the viral option. I think it's the viral share option, which is really cool. It gives you a link specific to you. And every time you get somebody to join the giveaway, and follow on the various portals, etc., you get another entry. So it's really cool. I encourage you guys to keep your eyes peeled. No, hosts can't actually join this. So, sorry. Meg was most upset about this, I think. So it's going to be cool. Anyway, so moving along, that took a really long time to say. That will be left on the cutting room floor. So I wanted to give some shout outs at the top of the show. What the fuck, Nisa? I missed you. It's been a long time. I already said hello to ATO Dez. He's the stand-in for Victor Strand. We got Eye in the Dark 2. We got ATXOG. We got Celtic TSO, the main man, Thomas. And Meg Dendy's on. And technically you're on too, Rachel. So,
am I still on? Oh, I totally signed off.
Maybe. I don't know.
My phone was going to die. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I was there for a minute.
So yeah, we're gonna cover the episode, but what I wanted to do was, if you guys, do you have any announcements or news or anything like that? Any of you?
No, you covered it.
Yeah.
Well, your first daughter, Carol, is starting school soon, right?
Today.
Is it today? Okay.
It was the first day. Today was kindergarten, so I was like up at the crack of dawn, packing school lunch, getting her ready, like the whole deal. Like, it was crazy. It was pandemonium this morning at the school. It was like parents, kids, bags of supplies. I feel like I was more nervous for her than she was. Like, basically, like, she was like fine, and meanwhile I'm like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. Hey. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Officially in the elementary school game.
You have like an empty nest syndrome kind of thing going on?
Not even. It's just, now it's, you know what? It actually gives me more time because like now I'm putting the kids to bed earlier. So like last night they were like asleep by 9:30 and I was like, oh my God, like I don't even know what to do with myself now. It was awesome.
Damn.
It was amazing.
Yeah, because
So-
I remember the podcast where like I remember literally we had
my
to
God.
end the podcast because you had to leave to put your kid to sleep like at 11, 12? I
Yeah,
don't know what
because
it
it's
was.
like they woke up and like were like, Mom. So which could still happen. FYI. Could
Oh.
still happen.
Oh, it still happened tonight.
Well, like
But much earlier.
my son Lucas, like he'll still do that. He'll still wake up, crawl out of bed, like walk on over, like sometimes crawl into my bed. So it's like you never know. But Natalie's out. When she's out, she is out. It's like me. When I'm out,
Yeah.
you cannot budge me.
No.
It's done.
I found that out the hard way. Carol. We have a podcast to do. Carol, I guess we'll do it tomorrow.
It's like, I'm sorry, I fell asleep in the kids' bed again.
But I mean, let's face it, that is like the best thing, right? Like you're put into sleep and you're just like, yeah, just close my eyes.
I love my kids' room. Like they're so fun, and like their beds for some reason are so comfortable that it's so easy for me just to kind of like. But like because now they're going to sleep earlier, I wasn't. Like I literally was like in bed with them, and I was like, they're asleep. I'm gonna watch TV on my phone right now.
I have a life.
Oh my gosh!
What
It's a game
happened?
changer. It's a game changer. Just saying.
Oh man,
So,
I believe it.
but you had like the fantastic vacation. I saw some of the photos. Well, not photos. You put some like fun videos.
Yeah, I
Time lapses.
this old man figured out how to use the hyperlapse or time lapse, and I
still
had
don't
so
know how to
much
do
fun with
that.
it.
I still don't know how to do that.
It's literally basically you take a 11-minute video and it condenses it to 40 seconds, or like a 1 minute video to 4 seconds or 3 seconds. It's great, and so you can do like a lot of these things that you like. Okay, the few things that I did was I went to. For those who don't know, I went to Santiago, Chile, and from there, Evie and I went to Easter Island, or as it should be called, Rapa Nui, where, of course, the Easter Island heads, which was made by the native peoples, like this impressive, large stonework. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and basically, Tom says you had to end the podcast early because of a prehistoric mosquito attacking David. I'm like, yes, that's true. But yeah, it's really cool. So like the few things that I did was there's the funicular in Santiago, which is basically kind of like a they have a hill, the San Crist it's like the Cristobal Hill basically in downtown Santiago, and so you take this kind of like elevator / like railroad thing up the mountain. It's very old.
Yeah,
And-
it
and
looks it.
Yeah, and it literally works on a system of weights, so you need just as many people going up as going down. It's really freaky.
Oh my god!
They literally need to do in because we also went to Valparaiso on the coast, and it's even older there. It's better restored, but it's whatever. It's just as old. And so they were explaining how this has to be done. Like they attach a motor to it to kind of get it going, but like they literally have to have the same weight to kind of keep it perpetually going.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
It's kind of daunting.
So I clicked the hyperlapse and just kept the camera steady, and then what was like the ride was like basically 5 minutes long. It turns into like a 10-second video, you know. But the most impressive one I think was I had this idea. We're going we're at the site where basically we're one of the largest standing moai. By the way, the Easter Island heads are called moai, M-O-A-I, and we're the largest moai. We're standing on their ahu, which is like their table mount. the site's called Ahu Tongariki, and these things are huge. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. You're watching in the distance. The waves are kind of crashing on the beach behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to kind of like show people the scale of this thing as I walk towards it. Because, I mean, you could see it from the distance and it looks kind of, okay, you don't know the scale. So I'm like, I do this hyperlapse video and it's like, you see me kind of going down the hill really fast because obviously hyperlapse. But then I kind of turn the camera towards it, and then I kind of show them like up front to kind of give people an idea of size, and it's all of like, I think not even 10 seconds, and it's just really impressive. And there's people in front of it for scale, and so if you want to see that, my personal handle is on the description of every podcast. It's in the description of the YouTube and the Facebook live stream or post live stream. It's at Mistyang. It's MYSTYANG. You can check it out. It's the last few posts anyway. And I don't really use my personal account anymore. Thank you, Squawking Dead, for ruining my life. So all the good stuff is there for my life. Yeah, there you go. Enjoy that.
That proves that you do have like so many facets to your life.
Yeah, that I lose. No, I'm kidding. No, but I have fun. We have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, it's like, I've only been to Chile once, really, really briefly for work. And it's funny that you say scale, because I remember being in the taxi and it's like the Andes are like right outside, like the window, and it looks like a freaking building. Like it was just, like I was telling somebody the other day, like I was like, the scale of it was like crazy.
It's almost unlike anything you see, and I'll tell you, we went to the Andes on the day before we had to fly out, and there's like this ski lodge right at the top. It's like literally 2.5 miles, because the highest point of the Andes is actually in Argentina, so they own that part. But right before that, 2.5 miles from the border, there's this ski lodge called Portillo, I guess. But like I've never heard so many American accents in the country since I've been there. It's like all Americans, Canadians, and all that stuff, and they're all this ski lodge in Santiago, and not Santiago, but in the Andes.
Yeah,
and it's just so bizarre, man. It's like, and then the road going up to the top basically is just, it's this winding. It's very linear, so you're not going around the mountains, obviously, because it's not the United States, but like you're going up the side of the mountain, like doing kind of like a zigzag thing up this one side. In these like hairpin turns and stuff like that. And there's literally 30 curves, by the way. They have numbers as you go up. That's how linear it is.
Wow. I don't want to know this.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Information I don't need to know.
I did take a hyperlapse of that.
By heights?
Mm-hmm.
Say that again?
Like, don't tell me how high I am. Like, I can see how high that is. You don't need to remind me how high up in the air I am.
I will post a hyperlapse I did of the ride up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a hyperlapse, so like you don't get like a dwelling. You're not dwelling on the height.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it came out okay, but whatever. I mean, it was on the last few days, so I didn't have time to post it, and I've been catching up ever since. It's work, and I mean, look, we took us half an hour to get on the stream, so
yeah.
Here we go.
Listen.
But yeah, I'm like looking at the chat, and by the way, I'm gonna say this out loud because I had this like weird thought just before we got on to. It was like, I'm thinking to myself, is Tom married? Because I kind of want to see like Tom and Meg date. Do you know what I mean? Because this kind of like old couple back and forth. It's just kind of sweet in my mind. It'd be so adorable, wouldn't it? Like, because they're going back and forth on the Facebook chat. For any of you who are on live right now, or any of you that are going to go on and listen to this later,
trying to make this love connection happen?
I'm not just going to try. I'll be like, hey, let's just put them in a room together and see what sparks fly.
That's always my attitude. When it comes to picking up anybody, I'm like, just put them in the room together and let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's just. Well, I mean, obviously, if things happen really fast and sloppy and messy, let's just walk out the room.
And if it doesn't, fireworks don't go off. It's not my fault.
Oh, okay. Tom says Tom is not married and Tom is not going to date Meg. Famous last words. That's what they all say.
Right. That's what they say right before they get married.
Leprechaun. I want to see the angry emoji, Tom. I'm kidding. Anyway, we have fun. We have fun, right? Anyway.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the episode. Love connection.
Rachel, I want to say your nails look lovely this evening. I'm sorry. I notice people's nails all the time.
Oh, thank you.
It's definitely, she's not talking about me.
Well,
shit.
thank you.
Yeah, they're very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
They're
always, weapons too.
I was going to say. It looked like something.
I actually just put new gel on them. I didn't paint them. There's no paint on them. They're just
little tippies. And they're natural?
No, these are my real nails.
Oh, no,
these are my nails.
No, but I meant the painted, anyway, yeah.
No, the gel over top of it just keeps my weak, brittle nails from breaking. But these are my nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I always wondered about that, and I know we're tangenting, but like, is it an age thing? Is it what we do to our nails that makes them brittle or
brittleness?
Something? Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that go into it. I mean, diet, genetics, things like that are a factor. And age, of course, yes. The older we get, they can get more brittle.
Oh, so like genetics. So like, I guess males versus females too. Males will tend to have tougher nails, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, ladies, it does. Ladies generally, I mean, this isn't a rule for all women, but generally ladies get their nails done. And if they do, I mean, that, takes some wear and tear on them.
That's true.
So.
Okay.
Guys don't usually do that, so their nails are just long and strong, I guess.
Long and disgusting and yellow. Well, you know it. Guys know it. Dogs know it. That's why they lick them all the time. Anyway, like, oh, there's food there. Anyway, disgusting. It's not food. Mushrooms aren't food. Anyway.
No.
Anyways, yes, lovely nails aside. I could see why we're trying to avoid this episode because it's pretty heady. This episode is really heady. It took me 2 watches. Obviously, we always. I don't know about you guys. I think you guys are similar, but it takes me two watches to really kind of sink into it all the way. And obviously, we have to watch it at least twice for notes.
Yeah.
But by the second
this one, I did only get this one in once, but normally I do try to watch a couple times.
Right. Yeah, and for me, it was kind of like on the second watch, I kind of got it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like this episode was a little hard to swallow, but only in as much as like, oh, I thought we were gonna have like more action-packed episodes, etc. Right? But like, and like it turns out to be almost kind of like the effects were like amazing on this episode, and again, it's mostly practical effects. I kind of wanted to let people know that at the top of the show. That was
exciting to find out.
Like, remember, Carol? I mean, we're rehashing an old conversation we had about the beginning of season 8, or was it the mid-season? No, it was mid-season, because when we talked about the mid-season finale, I think it was. No, it was the top of the show. It was right when we started podcasting. You had this gripe about The Walking Dead, and it was like when they were doing practical effects, like with the guns.
Yes,
it was way more impressive.
It was a different. There's a different result than when you're kind of adding in effects in like post, because that's how it was. Like when they were in the prison, they were doing a lot of like using actual guns with blanks. So when they were doing these sort of like scenes with the governor, like it had a certain kind of like, I don't know, impact or result versus like, when we get to like, what was it, season 7 or whatever, when we're like, the war against like the saviors, and it's like just spraying and praying, like just. Yeah,
exactly. Spraying and praying. And then like with no like, there's no like,
there's no like, it's just like
recoil or And so what we were noticing was that they kind of, first of all, Fear the Walking Dead last year, season 4, was all about the practical effects when it came to firearms at the very least. And then this season, like between the plane crash and even like the mid-season finale, when you hear that that they actually kind of rigged a kind of, I think it was a real plane to fly overhead Daryl Chill Mitchell as he was crawling on the pavement. There's that. The plane crash in the beginning of the season. All of this stuff, like most of this stuff, like 90% of this stuff is practical effects. So just to hear that, it just has such a bigger impact, and knowing that actually makes it even more. Because like you could see it, and you're already impressed by it.
Yeah. But
then like the landmines and the squibs, I remember seeing like hearing about them doing the next episode, like obviously before I went away, and like hearing about the process of setting up these massive squib mines, like, and how they did it. And like it was like, holy shit, this is like it's literally, you know, the squibs, you know what I'm talking about when I say squibs, right? Yeah. It's for those who don't, it's like squibs are basically when you shoot somebody in a TV show, like the effect of having the blood come out of the back or the front, depending on if a front or back squib. And basically somebody triggers it once somebody does the gunshot effect, and like it shows the blood coming out the front and then shooting out the back, depending on how you want it to look. And so take that, multiply that by, I don't know, 20, 25, and that's your landmine. And I don't know if the sound is added too, which is another thing. Like, is there a real sound, or is it, you know what I mean? Is it really an explosion? Right? I would imagine that it's not a real sound, because there is a serious kind of health risk when it comes to hearing loss. Yes. Yeah. That is true. I had to think about that for a little while. Like, why would they do that? Yeah. But
that does make sense. They'd all have to have headphones on.
Yeah. Protective gear.
Oh, by the way, Tom is Tom is marveling. Speaking of practical effects, Tom is marveling over your Squawking Dead T-shirt, Carol. And he said, "Did you get that from the web store?"
Yes, I did.
He hears that the shipping.
How's the shipping?
Ridiculous.
That was an awesome answer, by the way. When I saw that, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's gonna be on a T-shirt someday.
Right?
You know, that would be a great.
Should be the next one.
It's a very meta
tagline.
It's very meta.
Yes.
Yeah, and
that would be awesome.
Yeah, just head over to the website squawkingdead.com and hit the main menu and click merch, and you can go to the merch store.
It's ridiculous.
No, the merch store is not ridiculous. The shipping's ridiculous.
The shipping's ridiculous.
We've got all different styles and colors for representing different seasons. Buy more so the shipping's not so bad.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yeah, we have stickers, mugs, the phone cases, but you know,
I love stickers.
About the T-shirt. Yeah, the stickers are probably the best. Like, I mean, I just like the way these kind of turned out.
Stickers are fun.
It's like you have an episode in your hand.
Classic.
Sorry. Okay. So, but this episode, yeah, I mean, between the effects, between what goes on, and then like speaking of effects, like you have what you learn on Talking Dead, you get a little bit more info on how the cameras actually work, because this camera is this episode is filmed entirely like on. I mean, some of the effects were added in, obviously, like for effect, like the color grading and the kind of VCR-ish kind of resolution effects and interlacing and the artifacts on screen. But some of it was shot by the actual camera operators, like the Steadicams, like especially during the stunts. Like do you remember the shot where there was that big explosion and Maggie Grace gets knocked back?
Yes.
That's not Maggie Grace.
Right.
That's actually Steadicam. I learned that from the Steadicam operator, Steady One, shout out, on the show. And he's like, "Nice legs, Maggie Grace," and it's really his legs. It's just really funny. It's really funny the way he put it. He's literally wearing her style of pants while holding the camera, because you could tell like nobody falls down exactly with the camera lined up properly. The camera would be up in the air, flying off into the distance. No more video from that camera, and so but I was really startled to find out that some of it was actually filmed by, let's say, you know, Danay Garcia and obviously Maggie Grace. You know, it was really cool to know they use that footage. But I also thought of the flip side of this. The flip side of this is that the editor has so much more footage to edit.
Yeah, that is a lot of editing.
It's like multiply your camera operators by 2, because each camera had a shadow just in case too. So it's really funny how that works.
Yeah.
At the very, I was going to say at the very least, but at max, because I mean, obviously you can have, when you're filming one person, you can't have the real camera behind the other person. You know what I mean? Not in the shot. So
yeah.
There's at least one real camera, But yeah, I kind of don't know where to start in terms of really covering this episode. I mean, to kind of give you a little bit of an outline, though, and kind of where I want to start off, and then I can let you guys take over, is like the way you want to think of this episode is exactly the way it was put together and why it was put together. Because you find out at the end of the episode that the character played by Colby Holman, who's named Wes, we find out from Talking Dead, actually. They basically compiled all this footage into a tape to be played at a truck stop. I think the name, we'll get to the name at the end because it's in my notes. For people to kind of walk in and see this tape and see what they can do to help, etc. And basically, when you watch the episode, you have to make note of what they say in the beginning of the tape, that they watch, and then what at the end of the tape, because it's also for us as viewers, because the one big critique about this season has been, what the fuck is it about helping people? Like, this isn't what The Walking Dead is about. You help people, you die. You become right?
Yeah, that's been the mantra of The Walking Dead.
Right,
yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the whole point of my saying this is that this episode is kind of an answer to that critique in a way, because you see them evolve from just helping people to absolve themselves from their sins and whatever, to actually changing and tweaking things around. Like, the more they help others, the more they actually kind of the answers morph into something where, like, them admitting that they need help with things, like a large amount of them are admitting to themselves, oh, all this time I was giving help to others but not realizing that I kind of need help. You know what I mean? Like, I need help saying goodbye. I need help finding my path. I need help figuring out how to make this world as much as it was the last world, that sort of thing. So each person morphs from the beginning of the video to the end of the video, and so that's kind of what I really liked about the tape, is because it not only wasn't as it was intended, which was like an accounting of their capabilities. Like, we can help you. Here's a demonstration. No, it became more than just that. You could see a discovery of themselves in this one video, and and that's what I got away from this episode, actually. Like, the answer or the paradigm from the beginning of the season is changing, and so they're changing as a result. So like they're like evolving into different Pokemon right now, like throughout the last half of the season, in my opinion. Like, that's how I see it, because it's like, it's not enough. I mean, we all know it's not enough, because that it's gonna eventually get you killed,
right?
But wait a minute, if the end of the video is, it's not only that we're gonna help you, it's that you are gonna help others, or that you are gonna do something
to pass it on.
Exactly. What does that remind you of? Like, I'll give you a hint. Every time she left the diamond, she looked for the good out here.
Madison.
That's the name. That's the name of the episode. It's the name of the episode too. The good out here. And so. No, say your mind.
No, I was like, are we going to talk about the trees?
We will.
Madison.
We will. And I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a fake out, right?
It probably will be a fake out, just because the natural reaction is to be like, is it Madison? Especially because Alicia was like, I want to find the person leaving those messages. I'm like,
yeah. I feel like they're leaning into it pretty hard. Especially when Alicia said that. She's like, I'm going to find out who this is. Everybody's like, it's Madison. But I could see a total fake out. Yeah.
Right. And just because they said that, I was like, so it's going to be Sherry, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, guys. We're not saying what we need to say. What if Sherry is Madison?
What if Sherry's Madison?
Oh my God.
Sherry pulls off her mask. It was me the whole time.
Oh my God.
So now it's Scooby-Doo.
Old man Madison.
Got away with it.
Gotten away with it. It wasn't for you pesky kids.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm still feeling like Sherry's going to be linked up with another bad guy.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah.
I think Sherry is like in cahoots with some group that's not so good.
Yeah, I mean...
and now all of a sudden she's telling Dwight, like, don't look for me, don't follow me. Like, I feel like that was kind of when she met a group and was like, all right, I'm this now. I'm not Dwight Sherry anymore.
Right. I kind of want to put a pin in that because because it's going to link back to when we talk about the end of the episode. Because I'm going to... It's looking like it's turning into a situation that we've seen before, but I will go back to that because I kind of want to go. I don't want to go too deep into this episode. I mean, I'm going to try to avoid it because a lot of the stuff they talk about is like, I mean, I could literally go and tell you what happens at the beginning of Morgan's tape and then at the end of it.
We could be here for 5 hours dissecting this episode if we wanted.
Oh God, no. Good night. See ya. Bye.
I'm just saying, there's that much there that could be unpacked.
But why don't we just take a lighthearted approach to this? Because there are two categories that I categorized and I made sure to. It was John Dorie hot takes and Sarah hot takes because there were some good ones this week.
Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of want to start with John Dorie because on the one hand, like... from his introduction, there's just some things about him that are just so funny. Like, just from the top, from his season 4 intro. So funny. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, like, you're kind of seeing that again. And there was something on the show that as we go through the hot takes, I kind of want to bring up again, because it's really prescient. But, like, right off the bat, caviar tastes like bait.
Yes, I did like that. And I was like, you know what? That's probably right. Like, I've never had caviar, but I was like, that seems accurate.
Yeah, you haven't had good caviar.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't live that high class life. You know?
Well, you guys have had sushi, right?
Yes.
No.
Oh, well, you live in Michigan, though, too. Which I always get really skeptical about Michigan because, like, seafood in Michigan just freaks me out because you have no ocean.
We have 5 lakes.
Yeah, but that's not seafood. That's lake.
No,
that's lake
not.
food.
Yeah. I don't eat anything that comes out of the water anyway. So
just don't trust it. I don't want it.
No part.
No part. No leg. No claw.
Nope. None of that. None of that. My husband hates it.
Oh, really? Wow. Birds of a feather.
He likes seafood. I do.
Birds
not.
like seafood. Anyway. But okay, so you guys, I happen to actually kind of have any of you actually had smoked salmon? You must have.
Yes, I have.
So it's kind of like that. I mean, in a way,
is it?
It's salty.
Right, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like a savory flavor. I mean, yeah, it tastes fishy, but there's like this, depending on how good it is, there's this satisfying finish to it too. Yeah.
Do they like pop in your mouth?
Yeah, they do.
Ooh.
Gross.
Yeah, think of like...
That sounds disgusting.
No, because textures freak me out.
They don't like...
Textures can...
so
that can kill it.
That's like a food phobia, by the way. And I know so many people that have it. Like the fear of textures, like certain textures.
Not fear. It's just like, you know, like... I don't know.
It's a fear.
That's me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I won't eat because it's weird.
You gotta own it. I mean, and then we'll move on, you know? Like...
I know I'm the problem. I say that all the time. I know I'm the problem with food. I know this. So you give me whatever you want, and I'm just gonna pick around and eat what I can. I know it's me. I own it.
And then we just know our boundaries. We announce them up front. We don't pretend like we're heroes.
I don't complain. I mean, if there's nothing that I'm going to eat, I'm not going to complain. I'll find a piece of bread or a roll or something. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then, by the way, Johnny 5 is a live shout out. He says,
Nice.
what about soggy bread? Ooh.
Soggy bread? Oh, why would you eat soggy bread?
No, but like, what does that make
Yeah.
you think of? It's like, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, but he also says
No.
another thing, by the way. He's was that Johnny? Yeah, it was. He said, "Please be Madison, but what about the Proctors? The Proctors from season was it season 3? Yeah.
Proctors?
The dudes that ran that complex, because I don't think we heard. I don't remember what happened to them. But then there was also like, what if it's Kalataka Walker? You know, Taco.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, him. Yep.
Come out
Oh,
of
okay.
nowhere,
Yeah.
And the what is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Wild Dog. What was his name? I can't remember his partner.
Mm.
Am I
Wait a
wrong?
minute.
Something
Something like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm really like
All I want to say is Mad Dog.
Johnny's like trying to throw out all these foods that because like I can't eat hot turkey sandwiches. It's like because and I know
I
why
don't like turkey.
because that gravy will just get the bread soggy and it's just this.
Oh, okay.
I've never
There we
liked
go.
turkey.
You know
I'll eat that kind of soggy bread.
My father-in-law is the same way. By the way, it just for some reason
Gravy.
turkey just grosses him out. And like
It's
How
not
weird.
my thing.
he'll
It's
eat
not
I'm
my
a-
thing.
I'm a meat eater. I'll eat all the meats.
No, I love meat and like chicken and like fish, but turkey, no.
Is it because it's too dry?
Maybe the dryness. Yeah.
It is.
Probably.
It is a little on the dry side, but
Yeah.
that's why you got to get the gravy in
Oh
there.
my god.
Yeah,
You
that's
need
true.
oh god, I need to cook you guys turkey
Okay.
because
Oh my God.
I've made such juicy turkey. It's just so delicious.
Are you
I've-
like
yeah.
the chef during Thanksgiving? Like, are you like spearheading like the food?
I did one Thanksgiving, and it was just phenomenal.
Exhausting. Was it exhausting?
It doesn't have to be. If you find the right method, you can do right. And my method involved a lot of butter.
There you go. Can't go wrong with
A
butter.
lot of butter, rosemary, thyme, yeah,
Yep.
and
They
a lot
have-
of tin foil.
Yes.
It's a huge it was like a you know how Superman comes in that module. That's what it looked like. Kryptonian. It's a
Bring
Kryptonian
in the
module
turkey.
of turkey, and he just lands on planet Earth. And behold,
Planet
super
table.
turkey. Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I should have dressed it that way. Should have cosplayed my turkey. Anyway, but yeah, it was
Put a little
many
cape on
moons
it.
ago. Yeah, exactly. Little Superman booty
Oh my gosh.
and the super underwear, super
Yeah.
tights. Yeah. Anyway, but what were we talking about? About
The show we like?
caviar. Oh, it was the John Doe Hart Todd.
Yes.
thing,
There
Oh
we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Back-
Okay.
There we go.
So moving on from that because it was fucking funny.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like I don't want to like also only say the things that are funny about what he said, but like these are like things that are like motherfucker. Like she has my word and she has my heart. That's all that matters in this world. I'm like, what the
It's very
fuck, dude?
sweet.
You're
Yeah.
making me look bad in front of my wife. Like,
It's very, yeah. It's very
She was
charming.
sweet too. As far as I'm concerned, we're already married. Aww.
oh man, he just went in for the.
It was just
kill,
so happy. This episode was just so happy. Everybody was happy and like we saved somebody and now we're eating noodles and
Pad Thai.
yeah, pad thai. Yeah.
to boot.
I,
Yeah.
I just kept thinking like this is it. This is our happy moment. Soak it up because
And that's it.
it's all downhill from here.
Kids will die. It's gonna be.
Kids are gonna
horrible.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooper, Dylan, Dylan. Oh
Oh,
no.
God.
It was the pad time.
Oh no, he had an allergy.
I
Oh,
didn't know.
my little prince. No, I love that kid. I don't want him to go, but it's just such a funny
I
funny thing that will never happen on a television show. Maybe though.
Right.
Anyway. Because you start, and Johnny's saying it too, now someone's going to die.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, and, oh, man. Landmines. It was landmines.
It was landmines. I love it. Just says it so matter of fact. It was landmines.
Yeah, it's like the Office editing, like how she just cuts into him saying that, like right after the explosion. It's like, yeah, it was landmines.
It was landmines. Yeah.
I'd like to know where Al's editing at.
Right. Right.
How's she editing all of this?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering the same thing. But like she says at the top of the show that like she's like they raided this kind of like I don't know what it was that she said. It was like I don't know if it was a truck stop
They
or
took
like
every camera. They took every like
battery.
yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm king of lo-fi editing. Like seriously, the way I used to edit sound was so backwards. I used to take, oh my god, I'm like remembering it now. It's so. I used to actually just use one single track and then use different files that I pre-recorded, and I would just manually play them back to put them into the track. But the thing is that I was so good at it that it worked, but it was just such a manual thing to do. Meanwhile, if you just take all those tracks into an audio editing app and just insert them at the right places, you're done. But I would do it manually. But this is like way back in the day. Like I'm talking like 20 years ago at least. Like
Jeez.
when you had sound recorder, you know, and that's all you had.
Oh my god, sound recorder! Jesus Christ, I remember that. Sorry. Like you're like reminding me of days when I used to like tape stuff off like the radio. I'm like, okay, commercials coming. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Like relationships would break up if you didn't shush. Friendships would die.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, it comes from the days of me recording on VHS and like rewinding and then editing and putting that back in here. And then eventually like trying to do it over and over again so that on 2 tape recorders, like 2 VHS recorders and stuff.
Yeah.
well, you know what's crazy? Like, I want to like go up to New York because like I think in my mom's place, all that stuff is still there. I think we still have like a ton of like old VHS tapes, records. Like it's all just in a closet. It's all just like there in a closet.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go through it.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and my family always talks about digitizing stuff, too. Like, we have a couple of reels that we already did do some of that, but, like, it's just so bad. And, like, there's so many better devices to actually do digital, like, analog to digital. And, by the way, and, like, shout out to That's What's Up Music. He or she, I don't know. But he says, what about the tape-to-tape editing, though? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Cassette tape to cassette tape. I was
That's my
thinking of
husband.
that.
Yeah.
That's my husband.
Yeah, right? And we used to call ourselves DJs when we did that, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like, I totally felt like a DJ doing that kind of stuff.
Didn't hear me.
Like,
Dave, that's my husband.
Oh, I didn't hear him. But
No, That's What's Up Music is my husband.
Oh.
ah!
That the blank has been filled.
There you go.
But yeah. And I was so good, though, that I would exploit, like, the little, I guess not defects, but, like these little hacks that you could do with the tape recorder, depending on what you used. Like, it's like the difference between using a high-end hi-fi boombox or, like, a tape deck, like a module tape deck, and, like, using a, do you remember those waterproof yellow cassette players?
The Walkman.
Yeah, like with the Walkman colors.
You could get it in blue or yellow.
Yeah, but they were like big kind of boom boxes with handles, but like not that big, but like basically you bring them to the pool and you could just throw them in, you know, if they had batteries.
Dang.
They still had like audio output, so you could hook that up to another tape deck recorder. And there was a little thing where if I pressed the play button in such a way while it was playing and the other end was recording, I can get it to slow down or go faster because it's just that analog.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can create these like really, really cool effects, you know? This is how manual hack I am.
See?
But yeah, because I know
we got all this newfangled technology.
Yeah, exactly. And now you just press a button, and then you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled, and yet I'm still up until 4 a.m. editing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. The next bit is okay. But this was by far, and we mentioned this before, but it bears to be repeated. But this was by far the ugliest mustard I've seen. And he's like, what? He's like, oh, it's something my grandpa used to say. He worked in a delicatessen.
I love that line.
It's just like random.
It felt very, you're right. It did feel very The Office, very much so. It was like a very interesting vibe to this episode.
Yeah, he's like such a weirdo.
That makes it endearing, though. Like,
oh yeah,
I love it.
He's quite quirky.
Yeah, I mean he's almost like the Kevin. Like if you remember The Office, like in a weird way. Just in the solo interviews, like it's like I count slowly, or like you know what I mean. It's just like, I'm. Oh my god, we should make a shirt with Kevin as John Dorie.
Oh my gosh.
Aww.
I was afraid to tell you because I don't want you to go.
Oh my god.
I'm actually kind of loving it because Kevin is adorable, if frustrating, but adorable. So it's got that kind of simpatico going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, last one. There's a proud tradition of eating noodles around a campfire with this group. Callback!
Mm-hmm.
Season 4. Mid-season, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Mid-season finale? Yeah, mid-season finale.
Yeah.
I think so, right? Or, no, I'm sorry.
They had the cuppa, right?
Yeah, exactly. The kimchi...
I think so, yeah.
Kimchi ramen noodles. I'm trying to remember if that was a mid-season finale or if it was the season finale because... I think this is right after the encounter and Morgan gets Alicia to stand down. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I
think it was a season finale.
Yeah. And they were all eating around the campfire, and like we noticed that somebody was noticeably missing from that campfire too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Who it was. I think it was John because he was healing up.
I thought it was a female character. Or no, John was in the plane or whatever recovering. Yeah. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I just like that callback, like the proud tradition was like, quote, because it links you to like it. There's continuity there. There's like there's it's just calling back to previous seasons. We're using prior knowledge to kind of pull you back in, connect you to this thing. Let me get the Instagram stream back up. Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness. Now might be the perfect time for me to go to the bathroom. I've been trying to hold it, but I don't think I can anymore.
Okay, no, I'll hold back on broadcasting on Instagram in the meantime.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, let's talk shit about her.
Oh my god.
Remember when he used to do that? But here's the thing, her husband's listening right now. Let's just maybe we can like, hey, what's up music? Let's just pretend like we said the most vile shit about her.
Oh my god.
And we'll play like total innocent because we really didn't.
Obviously.
Oh, look at that. Tom is saying caviar doesn't taste like bait. See, damn it. That's right, man.
I don't know. Look, I don't live that high class life.
He said it tastes like butter if you get the right one. But again, what does butter taste like, right? Just like raw butter. I love it.
No. I'm trying to think of the extent of my fancy meals. And it's basically maybe like my adult Lunchables that I bring with me to work.
What are your adult Lunchables? Is like
I basically go to Aldi and I get cold cuts and I get cheese and fruit and I make myself like a mixture of like fruits and a little compartment of like meats and a little compartment of like cheese.
Oh, you do, and you prep it, or do you do it the day?
I prep it all the night before.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like after we get off, I will be making my little lunch to bring with me tomorrow. Because I don't want to buy anything because that's a pain in my ass. So,
okay, and you need to stay at your desk because you're a helpful worker bee. You don't take a real lunch.
Well, here's the thing about working down in Miami, though. It's like it's not like when you're working in like New York where you can kind of slip out and like walk down the street. It's like I'd have to get in my car and drive someplace.
That's true too. Yeah.
And it's like, do I really feel like going all the way to the garage, get in the car, driving over to someplace, driving back? Like, it's exhausting just thinking about it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's back.
boy,
She's back. Oh no, you're
I'm back.
Oh no! By the way, it was the mid-season finale, but let me save that for the, and I'll tell you why. I worked this out way beforehand too, so my brain is like, you know. But hold on, let me start the Instagram stream. Okay. Okay, let's see how this works. I think what happens with the stream though, too, by the way, is like. After a while, after you go like I think the third one in a row, Instagram's just kind of like, stop abusing this feature. It's just like you are blocked.
Stop.
We've had enough of you.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I know that we're okay because Walani just joined.
There we go.
I can always count on you, hun. So we were talking about okay,
Noodles.
No, I wanted to correct the record because it was the mid-season finale because the rest of the season... Because it's hard to believe that like the first 8 episodes involved, the entire time jump. Like, and then we resolve all of that by the end of episode 8, where we figure out the fall and Madison dies, etc., and all that stuff. And then like the rest of the half is the Martha thing. And dealing with the loss of Madison.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, around
Martha.
the campfire. Yeah.
I forget about her.
So, and the timeliness is actually good. The tradition of eating noodles at a campfire, it's right on track. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's that. Sarah hot takes. I just love the line, Karma's a bitch, Logie.
Logie.
What's Logie?
Yeah. Right.
It's so blissful. I mean, I think audiences have really warmed up to her over time too.
I think so.
Like even you, right? Like I think Carol, you didn't like her at first too, right?
Yeah, I think I was like skeptical. I wasn't sure or whatever. But I do like her approach. I like the dynamic between her and Wendell. You know, it's just very odd. But I like that it's odd. Yes, but I can appreciate that, you know. I like that she was singing that Convoy song.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why I thought this. There was an episode of The Simpsons when Homer sang that song. I don't know why he sang that song.
Oh, my God. I feel like we need to keep making notes of these so we can, like, somehow make, like, Instagram posts throughout the week or something. Like, okay, Kevin is John Dorie, Homer and Mo side by side doing Convoy. Spot on, man. Yeah.
Yes.
But like I love it. It's like Daniel's like, this is not music.
I know, I did like that. It's like, not music.
And then Sarah goes and goes right to the camera. It's not just music. It's our anthem.
It's our anthem. Which is awesome.
I wanted to ask you guys a question.
That.
Yeah, I was how do you feel about this for real? Like I guess in the context of the show, I mean, if you had to ask me, it's like, I love it. It's like the Momo thing all over again.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm pro Momo, and I know you're no Momo, but like...
No Momo.
You see her rolling her eyes?
Right.
Great.
She looks just like Lennie James anytime somebody says
in
that.
real life.
It comes up like,
No, you
gets
did a
annoyed
hard
too.
eye roll. You know when you have to like tilt your head back, your eyes like ricochet, but it was in slow motion. It was like bullet time eye roll. It was like.
Can I tell you? Side note. This is a big problem for me because I don't have any poker face, which has been a problem.
I'm so sorry.
It's literally like I remember when I worked in my old office, we were in an open office, obviously, like little impromptu meeting that was lasting a little bit too long. It was going into lunch. I was hungry, and like we're standing there, and I guess my face had a similar expression. So all of a sudden, I get a text from like my coworker a couple of rows down. And I see the message, and she's like, "You look so irritated right now."
Oh my God! It's like you can see it from space. That's how.
That
Okay, making a mental note, eye rolls from space. Like,
at least you know, like, I mean, I can't hide it. It just, it is what it is.
It just pays to be honest, because it's almost as if you try to lie, like,
oh, it'd be so obvious.
It'd be even worse than somebody who just lied without the poker face.
Right? It would be worse. Like, it would be 1,000 times worse, and you'd know instantaneously. It's like.
So your kids get away with everything because you have to lie to them all the time. Parents have to lie to their kids all the time, right? So.
No, do you want to know something? Do you want to hear something really funny?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, like, my kids are growing up living way more comfortably than I did, which is just always the case, So one time, I don't know if it was like, I think it might have been Lucas that was like whining about something that they didn't have or whatever. And I was like, I think I just lost my patience. I was like, look, you have so many things. I was like, you know what I had when I was growing up? Nothing. I had absolutely nothing. And then my mom was like next to me. I was like, no offense, Mom. Like,
no offense.
Like, no offense.
I know you had less than nothing, Mom.
But the funny thing is like they remember that. So now every time like they get out of line with something like that, I was like, remember, what did Mom have growing up? They're like, nothing. I was like, exactly. Nothing.
Oh my God, that's like, by the way, that's exactly like when we say how's the shipping? Like, or like, that's why I was laughing. Is like, oh, what if this is Madison? So that's the thing. That's that with your kids. It's like, and what did Mom have? Nothing.
Nothing.
We know, Mom, you're an idiot. By the way, in case you guys can't tell, and I may have mentioned this here and there, I'm not sure, but like in post and stuff, but like I as soon as I got back, I got sick, and Carol's now sick because I gave her something over the phone or something. Like, I don't know what it is. It's a text virus. Technology. So we're kind of. I'm trying to sniff off mic, and I'm trying to cough off mic, and all that to clear my throat off mic. It's just really difficult, but yeah,
it is hard.
I think Carol is less on the mend than I am. I had a froggy throat at the beginning of this podcast. Now I have like I can barely talk about these. It's just really annoying because you have to constantly clear your throat. It's,
yes.
Speaking of, edit. Yeah. Okay. But okay. So moving on from that. He won't let me give him a haircut.
I know. That was cute.
It doesn't matter what I look like. And then Sarah, it's just the way Mo Collins looks when she delivers the line. He goes, "It does," and then like this Kermit the Frog, like, yeah.
You know what it is? It's very.
She's
office.
a puppet.
It's like the camera and the movement of the camera and like the deadpan sort of like It's such a different type of episode.
Yeah,
it's
very much.
Almost.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was worried.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was worried it would be like too Blair Witchy and like give me a headache, but it was done very, very well. Like there was just as much steady cam as there was movement, so I was happy about that. No headaches.
You use the right words right there, like steady cam. Yeah. And because there were professionals holding the cameras most of the time.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I love the way Danay was when she was talking about it and couldn't really put into words what it was like to act with the cameras, like holding the camera, shooting other people, having to act, looking at the camera. Because you have to notice that like these people are taught to not look at the camera.
Right.
And
that's true.
when it comes to us and we see a camera, we can't help but look at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a distraction to us, but they're trained to not look at it. But now they have to look at the camera while holding another camera and then still somehow trying to be in character. It's really weird.
That is true.
Which kind of makes me think about like how the Blair Witch was and like how they had to film that, keep in character, etc. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me appreciate that more.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because you don't think about it like that, but it is true.
Like that extra mechanic of having to do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Milani says, "Feel better, guys." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Yeah. But going back to Mo Collins, it's like she is. I realize it now, like just from the Walking Dead interviews Talking Dead interviews and everything that we get. She's like a living puppet. Her body movements, the way she moves her head and neck, she's just like a living
Yeah,
Muppet.
you're right. Yeah, she does kind of.
Because she goes like this. She's looking at them. She's looking on the side. She goes, "Yes, it does."
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right.
And I'm just for the audio podcast. I'm like literally profile, looking at the camera, flopping my head up and down, nodding with like one of those straight smiles with the up curled lips. Like that's. Like, okay, do you remember the Grinch? Like the Dr. Seuss animation?
Yes.
Just the way the Grinch would curl his lips at the end?
Like yes.
Yeah. Yep.
She literally looked like that. It was really funny.
Yeah. She's good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, physical comedy for days. And, it helps to know that she was on Mad TV once. Oh, and she's like on all these, she's on, like a lot of shows, other shows lately too, like Silicon Valley. No, not Silicon Valley. She was on Parks and Rec for a little while. I know that ended like a little while ago, but there's something else she was on too, and I can't remember it right now. But but moving on, there was one thing left because I wanted to kind of go over that now because when she's about to drive up to Tank City, quote unquote, which is basically their convoy, basically, where they camp out, she goes. Oh, yeah, you should cut the mic off, basically. She calls the person filming Chuckles. Who is Chuckles? I was hoping one of you guys would know. Oh. Right?
I guess I didn't hear her say... I'm definitely planning on watching it again. But I don't remember... I remember her saying, like, it's a secret area, nobody can know it.
Exactly.
You're going to have to cut it.
Right, and she refers to the person holding the camera as Chuckles. Maybe Charlie?
Huh.
Charlie maybe. Chuckles. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
And we didn't see as much of maybe she was holding the cameras because we didn't see as much of her as we could have. She was in the beginning and the end of the tapes, but not as much in between. So maybe she was with Sarah the whole time.
That's true.
Oh, we solved a mystery there, Scooby.
Maybe. Yeah.
It was Old Man Withers the whole time. Oh my God, my mom's on the podcast. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
By the way, this is a callback because Tom is like about your mom listening to you talk about how you had nothing. She said maybe Carol's mom is Madison.
Oh my God.
I know, Mom. I know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not a knock on you, Mom. It was Madison the whole time. It's never gonna die. It's never gonna die, and it's still funny somehow.
Still,
because we're so stupid. There is one more after that. Okay, sorry, I did mess up, but they have the same amount of hot takes in my opinion. It's the last one's keep that rig. She says this at the end of the video. Keep that rig chugging for the poet of the pavement.
Yeah, that's what she needs help with.
Strange line.
That is. It's pretty random.
That's what she walked away with at the end of the. She had a thing in the beginning and a thing at the end. It was just equally stupid. It's awesome. Oh man.
No, she's great. I was nervous when I found out she was going to be on the show too because I've only ever seen her in comedic roles, and I'm like, all right, she's amazing at that. Can she be serious? Is she going to be believable as serious, or is she always going to be kind of funny? But I think she nails the serious scenes too. Like, and because she's so funny, it's almost more of an impact to see her being emotional and more raw. Like. It gets me more anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I felt that way last season when they had that scene with what's his name, Jim.
Jim
on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like seeing like people you kind of like lean on to kind of for that comic relief, and then suddenly be hurt, and it's just like, oh, we depended on you for that, and now you've almost hurt us. In the process of like... Yeah.
Who's going to cheer us up now?
Giants fall. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool.
You're that beacon and now you're sad.
But like, look at how like there's like a spooling effect going on. Like they're like we're getting wound up in the drama. Like we're getting wound up in these personalities, and I love when a show can do that. Like can draw you in by like saying, but now she's crying. Oh, that's different. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes.
And I care about it. Yeah, exactly. Because they could easily like weave that in a way that I wouldn't give a shit. Like the order. Okay. I don't want to go back to that hellish. Sorry.
Oh man.
Oh, that was horrible. Anyway, I can't believe we talked about...
I told you I finished it, right?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I did.
But you liked it, though,
I finished
right?
it. I was
like, we're not friends
neutral.
anymore. But anyway. Yeah, that's...
I was neutral. They had something there. Like there was a good egg there, and then somebody just shat all over it, and I don't know what happened.
Somebody just sat on it and then shat.
Yeah, they just it had a lot of potential, and then they were just like, we don't care anymore. Do whatever you want.
May I offer a visual? Okay.
Oh my god.
And then you tell me if this is accurate of the way you felt about it, and then we'll move on. But think about a baby that's still in diapers. You put the baby accidentally on bird shit, right? But then the baby shits, and then the shit goes up. That's the order.
Yeah, up the backside of the diaper and out. Yeah,
and to kind of bring it back full circle. Now that's a shit pile of mode.
Yes. It is.
You're welcome, America. Keep that truck running for the poet of the pavement.
That's right.
Such joy.
Mm-hmm.
And now back to pain. No, I don't know if you guys noticed the intro to the show, by the way.
Yes. I did notice.
Did you notice the credits in the beginning, how they were kind of pixelated?
Yes,
like VCR
I noticed that
pixelated?
effect. Yes, the VCR effect.
Right, and then and obviously like the audio going in and out, and is great. I just love. I mean, it's cute. It's cute.
It is. It's creative.
Yeah, and I mean, is that theme growing on you yet? No, okay.
It's such a blip. It's it's so short. It's just
more time for show. Okay. Oh, I noticed one thing. And speaking of Sarah, this is a good transition from Sarah, but like, because we're hearing it more and more. Morgan being called Momo, but being unfazed. Right? Like
unfazed? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw a face.
I didn't. He just kept the same look on the road, like that determined. I'm driving on the road with this. Like I don't think we've ever seen him drive. Right? Am I wrong? Or maybe on the Fear, but have we ever seen him drive?
Good question.
On either show?
No.
Like it was implied that he was driving. Like from Walking Dead to Fear.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
But I don't know that we saw him. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, I meant ever, but yeah. So we have.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I almost think about like Lennie James and driving, and I think he's a Londoner too. So does he ever get a chance to drive? And like, so I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, maybe he doesn't drive ever. Like, and so he's got this serious look. I don't even know if he's really driving in that shot too, because somebody noted, and I think it was Tilted Tripod 1, shout out, that while he was driving, it looked like a green screen, and she was like commenting on how bad it was. I mean, in her opinion, she's like watching on a phone, I think. So, but like, I think look out for that and tell me guys what you think. You know, Melani's like, Morgan does a lot of walking, man.
Does do a lot of walking.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh God, I just lost myself. Okay, here we go. Well, I kind of want to kick it off to you guys at this point, like, because I have a bunch in between, like sandwiched in between the whole test thing and basically the beginning and end of the tape. and then obviously the bit right at the end with Wes and Logan. But just any thoughts, just what really got you about this episode? And we could talk about Tess, we could talk about whatever you want, but let me just throw something out there. Like, what did you think of the whole dynamic? Because I have a couple bones to pick with the whole Tess situation that doesn't quite measure up. But like, what was your impression of that whole arc, that Tess arc?
I had my original thought about Tess was that this was a lure and it was going to be some sort of an ambush. That was my first thought, because the way she was talking on the radio, like, I can't come out, I don't know where they are, and like obviously we find out very quickly that they are landmines, but I don't know, I didn't trust her. Like, oh, my husband went out for whatever, like, oh sure, okay, sure he did. Like, I don't know, I didn't trust her. Not until like she actually came out of the house, and even then, even still, I'm like, watch out, she's gonna shoot somebody. Like, It wasn't until they were back at camp and she was eating pad thai with everybody, I'm like, okay, all right, I don't think she's gonna kill anyone.
Yeah,
right.
I also there was a time reference in there, if anybody else caught it.
Yeah.
Tess said, I haven't been outside the house since everything happened.
Right.
Later, Luciana says it's been 2 years.
Oh.
She hasn't been out of her house in 2 years.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly.
I did hear that, right? No.
You want
okay.
you want me to go into even deeper detail? Because I'm going to mention this, but I made a boo boo. By the way, I didn't update the episode number in the video, so it just says it just says episode 59 and whatever. You get it.
Yeah,
this is a professional chop shop operation here.
I don't think that 2 years isn't believable to me.
No,
I feel like it's been longer.
It's just under 2 years actually, and the way you know is from the Althea tapes. And I'm bringing this up now because I watched all of them this week too. Right after my first watch, I watched all of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And just so everybody else knows, I included all the links to the Althea tapes in our last blog for episode 61 because we had talked about the Althea tapes on the episode, and so there are like there are updates in the blog that indicate this is after the episode. Like this is information that I added post the episode. Like, so the Althea tapes, each one of them, I have them linked just for your comfort, because like the Walking Dead YouTube channel it's just shit. I have to just say, like, they could have organized the information a little bit better. Like, create more playlists. Who cares? Reorganize them so that the new playlists show at the top or whatever. Like, just put all the Althea tapes in one playlist. Like, but I had to hunt for them. You know, or at least hunt for them within the Fear the Walking Dead playlist too. And then they have random videos, by the way, inserted into some of these playlists too, which kind of just tells me like who was in charge here. like you had one job
and everything out there. Yeah.
And I know I'm shitting on them, but like but no, so from those tapes, one of the it's the last one too in particular, and the last one does deal with a person who has OCD, and so she does her thing is mostly counting, and so she counts the number of days for the apocalypse. It was like 543 or 56 or something like that
at the time of her tape.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I kind of question it is because where we are in Fear right now lines up with 8 months before Rick gets on the helicopter.
Correct.
Yes.
Which makes sense now.
So, I mean, does it though? Because at the current time in Walking Dead, how old is Judith?
6.
4 or 5?
6 or 7.
So how could we be only 2 years into the apocalypse if she's 6?
Oh, we're not caught up to The Walking Dead yet. Like,
we're
post
8
time jump.
months behind, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Judith's age is not lining up for the 2 years.
Judith's age is not lining up. When was she? She was born in season 3. Yeah. But see the time span between, because you have to remember Rick was in a coma for how long? A month?
8 weeks.
8 weeks. So that's 2 months.
8 weeks. Yeah.
The span of time between Outbreak and I think the time jump was about 2 years, I believe, right?
Outbreak and
roughly 2 years.
Fear?
Not just the beginning of TWD. I mean Outbreak.
Yeah, right. That's what Luciana is referring to. The beginning of the Outbreak.
Right.
To current.
So that's what you have to take into account. So, and Rick was already like, I think we have to assume that the Outbreak occurred right around the time Rick got shot. So there's 2 months of lag time. Lori is pregnant. Yeah, and then you have to take into account the fact that
she's already pregnant.
Right, and she wasn't showing until the prison, obviously. So there's that 8 months. There's 9 months. 9 months plus 2 months. Hold on a second. 9 months plus 2 months. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so
this is all going to make Judith younger at the current at our current time, though.
I wouldn't even
where
say
we are in our timeline.
Not necessarily. It would just mean that she's 7 years old, not 6. Because she's already a year, according to the time jump, she's already a year old. Yeah, she's already a year old.
Well, there have been a few time jumps. I'm just trying to compare. I'm trying to compare Fear, where we are in Fear right now,
Judith is a year old.
Where we are in Walking Dead right now.
That's a good point. Judith is about a year old. Yeah, I would say that. Why not? I would say Judith's about a year old as a Fear. As a Fear now.
Okay, so our current timeline in Fear is like 4 years behind where Walking.
No, even
like
more.
Before Rick. No.
Oh.
I'm like time, like our 6 year time jump. Not even a part of it. Like just from where Rick is on the bridge, right? When we lose Rick. Fear, where we're at now, is 8 months before that. Is that how I'm?
Yeah, I forgot about that other time jump. The old man Rick time jump. Or older man Rick. Right.
It's not. I mean, something's not clicking for me in the timeline.
Yeah, she has to be a little bit older. Yeah.
Making sense.
So I guess because we forgot about that 8 months. Okay. If you want to think about it this way, think that Fear is not. And you have to consider the diamond also. The time. Do you remember when they were in the diamond? They had already spent 2 years, because I think they're so. You have to consider the fact that like Fear had started before The Walking Dead already. I guess 2 months, at least 2 months before The Walking Dead. So there's this lag time, then there's a year. Oh man. I guess,
or maybe the outbreak started in Georgia before it reached the other coast. Maybe I don't know.
No. I guess
I feel like there's a big chunk of time missing.
Yeah, it's like seasons 6, I think 6 through 8 of The Walking Dead took over the course of like a very small amount of time. And so you also have to consider the fact that Fear's timeline was kind of similar in a way. Time kind of moved slowly, from the time we lose Travis and Chris and all that stuff, and then we get to the bridge, to the dam, and it's like maybe it's not even a year. You know what I mean? So we're not like so like in 3 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, we're like not even. I don't know. I'll just throw a number out there. Not even like 3 months, let's say. Maybe it's 2 months. And then you have all this time to play with between the dam falling and then season 4, where basically Morgan comes in, which is like 2 years, let's say. And and it's like another year at the diamond. So they had a year at the diamond. So there's like a chunk of time to reach the 2 year mark, let's say, where Morgan hits the show. And then you have... Right, because when Morgan hits the show, this is prior to the I want to say, Morgan leaves after the eggplant. Remember the eggplant thing that we did last year to try to figure out the time?
Yeah.
And I think that's the 8 month. There's like, I guess 8 months or something like that. This is killing me right now.
I'm a stickler for details like this, and it's not it no matter how I look at it, it's not lining up. And I almost always base my timelines on Judith's age, because she's basically existed almost since the beginning of the apocalypse. So in my mind, the apocalypse has been going on for as long as Judith has been around.
No, that's not right. Wait, hold on. Well, how is that what? Judith was born.
Well, I mean, give or take the pregnancy. I mean, in my mind, when Lori is pregnant, Judith exists.
Oh,
not necessarily born.
This is a whole pro.
That's a whole nother conversation. Yes, but I'm just saying. That's That's opinions for everybody. No.
I'm just saying. I'm also convinced that she was also born a little premature, like not quite 9 months. Sure. Something like that.
I could see that.
Because I don't think she was ready for it. Obviously.
Yeah.
But there's there's a whole bunch of timey-wimey nonsense. Like, okay, I'll say this much. You can figure it out to where it lines up properly. The problem is, like, Fear has holes, like very big ambiguous holes between the time of the fall of the dam and the time of when they settled into the diamond, which they kind of allude to, and and it was a shorter amount of time than we assumed it was, etc. But we know that they were in there for at least a year. So they're at that point when they're at the diamond, they're not quite lined up with where Morgan comes into the picture. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anyway, and then like there's a span of time from the time they get to the diamond, or sorry, from when the fall of the diamond starts. There's like this span of time, and then they lose Madison, into when they catch up with the Vultures. Okay, and then they kill them all, etc., etc., etc. Melon. It does make sense. It does make sense. The problem is that you can't line it up. We start seeing things line up better in the last 2 seasons, mostly this season, because they're actually giving us numbers and stuff like that. And then we have to kind of take it for gospel. Right. Because we don't know the span of time. True. All we do know is that we are a certain amount of months before Rick gets on that helicopter. And there's another whole part of this too. There's a whole school of thought where it's like the question to ask yourself is, does the time not quite lining up the way it should make you love the show any less? Right?
No. Right. No, exactly. No, not absolutely not. But
we want it to.
Those are just those are the things that I like to catch, I guess.
Yeah, you know?
I look for all the movie mistakes and cigarettes that are this long, and then they're this long, and then they're this long again, and I look for all that kind of stuff. Because I ruin every movie.
No, and you know what? I get it though, because like there's a part of us, and Carol will probably agree, that kind of wants to kind of feel like we were there in a way.
Yeah, I would like to know that so much detail has gone in that it lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's almost not impossible. That's impossible, but...
Yeah, well, especially with the way it was...
It'd be cool.
Even The Walking Dead was filmed, right?
Right.
So...
Yeah.
You know, so... But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can... Let's just play with the ambiguous nature of where we are at. And then, as long as we have, like, a vague idea of where we're at, I think I'm fine. Because I think at this rate, they're kind of bullshitting. Like, where they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like Meg says 8 months and I still say 6. But anyway. So I think the most accurate count that you are going to get of where Fear is at is from that last Althea tape, Samora. And so we have that linked in the blog. Okay. The last blog right now, and that's episode 61. Check that out. There's a whole bunch of updated links. I even referenced the giveaway that we mentioned at the top of the show. That we're going to start on Sunday. And we'll do the official announcement and bottle popping at the top of it. So the race to thousands will start then.
Yeah.
But, so back to Tess, though. Back to the whole Tess scene. I get you. I think the only thing that spoiled us about that experience is like when they talked about it. I don't know. Was it the SDCC? No, I'm trying to figure out like they did some behind the scenes talks, and there were snippets of the video itself referencing the whole Tess episode. And the impression I got of that, that's the only reason why I didn't think Tess was dangerous, was that like how that affected them. Like, and they were obviously still alive. By the end of it, I guess, or something. From whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we knew that they were going to be okay.
Right.
And so I didn't assume that. So I thought to myself, okay, they're just trying to help somebody. But I think the one thing that I kind of... So here's the bone I have to pick with that thing. You see the walkers approaching the gates. You have a number of people with cameras trying to cover, everybody, and there's like 3 or 4 people there at any given moment. Maybe like the average is 4, because at one point there's 3, then there's the 4th, and then like Sarah comes in, etc., or Sarah and Alicia, whatever it is, Alicia Strand, etc. So there's more, but the average is about 4. Now, the house is in the middle, let's say at the north end, right? And then you have the east and west gates, and then you have the front where they're mostly at. What would it take to just post people at different angles of the fence and just like bang on the fence to draw the walkers away so you can take them down instead of relying on John Dorie's pistols, right? That's the bone I had to pick with that. I'm like, they could have done this better, but like at the same time, I just figured out a way to kind of justify their existence, and you're gonna hate this. What if the only reason why they didn't do that was because if they did do that, they couldn't film each other? Like, let's say they posted up.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't be able to see each other from those different camera angles because the fences at certain points are higher, like at the south gate. So I hate that answer. Yeah. Because if that's true, it's kind of the way they handled the Morgan stepping on the mine issue. You know what I mean? Like instead of helping him, dropping the cameras and like assisting him and all that stuff, like they just possibly watch him die. So you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, we're just gonna film a man's death. All right, rock on. But I kind of want to get your take on that, because I mean, do you have any I guess, do you have any bones to pick with any of that scene, that entire arc?
I don't know if it's a bone necessarily, but I thought, okay, if the yard's filled with landmines, guide the walkers in and let them explode a path to the front door, and then they could walk out safely.
True.
Lay their bodies, wherever they're laying. Obviously, it's safe to walk.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it ended up, anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But the problem is, what if you attract a herd? That's why you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I guess that's always a possibility. You don't know where they're roaming.
And Rachel's dead in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just killed yourself.
Don't give
and
me
all
the
your
explosives.
Oh, yeah.
She's not only sick,
apocalypse
she's tired.
fail.
Okay. I get that. There's just this. There's also, and then there's also like the shrapnel issue. Okay, what if they get hit by shrapnel? Like, you don't want to do that too.
Yeah. Which they were. I mean, they made a good point to like dodge that kind of stuff too.
Oh yeah. Hot mess debris, basically, of like falling from body parts and guts. But I kind of wanted to talk about like. Oh, I'm trying to remember now. But okay, because there is an argument to be made, and I hate this argument too. Like, I can easily see Walking Dead people look at Fear the Walking Dead characters trying to help this one person and be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, why are they the weak die? Okay. This is like Rick and his crew rolling up to Alexandria all over again, kind of, if you think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like what are these weak ass people behind walls having caviar dinners?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think about this, and the reason why I want to dismantle this argument is because even Rick and Michonne have this reckoning, you know, back when they were trying to figure themselves out in peacetime, like in Alexandria, or what could be peace. Like there has to be something after, right?
Right.
You know, so, and this is what that looks like. You know, their shit got interrupted by Negan and the wolves, right? And the herd, etc. So never really got the chance to kind of move. Bless you. You just coughed right into the mic.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I went the other way. Sorry.
Don't worry, I blow smoke that way all the time.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Let me make you feel better.
Oh, that was funny. That was
Sorry.
funny.
That's okay. It wasn't as bad as you thought it was. I'm just I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
No.
All this stuff get left on
funny.
the cutting room floor anyway, so don't worry about it. It's funny as hell.
Trust me, it's way more painful for me.
Oh.
I feel like every time I cough, I'm getting like an intense core workout.
Oh
Oh,
my God. Oh no.
I know that cough.
It's
That
like,
is the worst.
you know.
Oh man, you got to take some cough medicine. It's bad.
I am. I'm every night, like before I go to sleep, I take some like medicine. It's been helping. It was worse. So
Yeah, I finally started doing that last night. Oh my God.
yeah.
But yeah, what was I saying? So, yeah. So like I was saying, they would always get interrupted, Rick and their crew. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what after looks like yet. And now
No.
and then you have another adversary, and that's resources depleting, gas is depleting, vehicles will stop. See, like right now, vehicles and gas are still working, but like where they are in TWD, nah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Unless they make ethanol, and ethanol lasts forever. You know, and I'll never get off that hill. But but yeah, and so we're not there yet. Like, but so you have this idea of, okay, what do we do after all the, you know, the wheat and the separates from the chaff, and then you have these big ass scary groups, and then there are no more people to be big ass and scary about, right? And then here we are in Austin, and the main real adversary, and I called this from like season 4 when you saw what's his name, the Pilferers, what did I call him, Leland and the Pilferers. The main, I noted like right from that beginning is like, oh, things are tough, things are real tough. Like things are in scarcity. Like your biggest adversary is trying to find shit, and then enter the Vultures, and they take all the shit. So
yeah,
and so you realize, and it's like we were saying at the beginning of the season. And I said this last season. It's like Texas itself is an adversary. It's the environment is the adversary. So so you have that. You have moving on from like bad guys and good guys, and then and then who's the bad guy in the end? And so. This is what it starts to look like. Okay, so what do we do now after the competent people have risen, and then you still have these people holding out? And so this is what we're finally seeing. And we don't really get to see that in The Walking Dead as much either, by the way, because, shit, Rick goes away, and the herds and the bridges and the hurricane, and then all of a sudden the Whisperers come in 6 years later. Like, we never get to see peacetime.
true.
So this is the natural evolution of the universe. Which is why that the whole thing with Tess is kind of important, and which is kind of translates to the video writ large. It's like, and it's kind of the end conclusion of the video. I mean, the end conclusion of the video is, and you see this on the helping boxes too. You see, it's take what you need, leave what you don't, and help how you can. That's the third line now. Yeah. And so now they've added like that last line. And and that's the takeaway. And I'll just say what they say at the end of the video, and then we can kind of bounce around between like specifics, and I don't know how long we want this to be, but let me just say because there's some sneak peeks we have to cover as well too. So I mean, I don't know how long we want to do this, but
I might have to check off in like 12 minutes to get ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't have much left in the tank. I work in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. I hear you. I'm trying to find this thing, but I totally want to just do this right. All I'm sorry, guys. I wrote so much for. This is what happens when you lose your groove. Your notes become really long because you don't know. You just don't remember how to format the fucking show. It's like, and then you just vomit like all over the notes, and you're like, oh, I just basically wrote out the entire episode. Like I thought it was clever by like grouping these things together. This is an anatomy of a host. Okay, so let's just move on from that because there's something about, and this kind of goes along what we're talking about, like Alexandria, blah, 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 and like what are things like in peacetime. There's this thing that goes on that happens to June, and it's a little bit puzzling because there's a little bit of a contradiction there. Tess says, not Tess, but in musing about Tess, June goes, I guess that's what happens when you stay in one place for too long. You know what I mean? And you could tell she's referring... You can't really tell initially because it's way in the beginning of the video if she's talking about Tess or she's talking about the diamond again. Like settling in one place too long. But then...
Wow. Yeah.
But then by the end of the video, and there is some... She drops another line like midway into this video like about... But I guess let's find a place. Like, I want to find the right place. And by the end of the video, she goes, I want to find a place that's right for us. You know, like a place. Like she convinces herself that there has to be a place. Like there has to be a place that's just right for the apocalypse. I guess the only question is, do you think that they'll find that right place? And do you think it'd be kind of cool for us to see what a like static, safe location post-apocalypse finally is in this universe? Because it seems like, other than Alexandria, which actually kind of holds out the test of time, because we're seeing some scenes now about like the Hilltop and how it might go, and the kingdom went in the last season, and who knows what happened to Oceanside, because what the fuck. But like Alexandria seems to be the only place that is held together in a way through its ups and downs. But other than that, like Fear the Walking Dead has had no sanctuary at all. You know, so I'm kind of curious of what June finds. You know, and the question is, will they find that this season too? You know, I mean, what do you think?
Well, the preview kind of hinted towards something along those lines. But I think if they find too much peace, the show's over. I mean, we watch because there's conflict. Oh
yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like there's something a brewing too. And that kind of brings us to the end of the episode. Yeah.
It is a good, I mean, if they end up going there, I mean, it's not a bad place to set up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're talking about the end of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that the end? I thought that was the preview.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that. There is that, but there's an element there that gets screwed up. Okay, so you're talking about the mall that they'll end up going in, like, in that kind of homage to zombie flicks, like holding out the mall, etc.
Like all of them, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, exactly. there has to be a mall sequence.
This has been done so many times. It doesn't work, guys.
It doesn't hold up.
Movies.
And I think you get that feeling too, like, oh my god, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But what I want to kind of focus on is that like there is an element of a threat too. Like you see by the end of this episode that Logan's stance is kind of changed as a result of him getting kicked out and walking 200 miles. I love the effect of him throwing his boots at Wes's feet. Like there's something there. Like he's changed. Like he was kind of like,
I thought.
Go ahead.
Well, it kind of seemed to me like he knew him. Like he was the one who personally kicked him out, but then clearly he didn't know him. I don't know. I look forward to watching this episode again because I feel like I don't know. I miss some things.
Yeah, I mean you should, but like I don't know why he assumed that. Maybe because he was in the truck stop, he assumed he was like guarding it or something. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's certain is that he went from being like kind of live and let live in a way from the start. Like, okay, you want this place back, you can have it. Like he could have killed all of them, whatever, but he kind of let them go, which kind of gave him an in to kind of screw with them later about the gas, the oil fields and stuff like that. And then they end up kicking him out. But like when they kick him out, like it's kind of like the beginning. Like Sarah's action is kind of like the beginning of their downfall. It felt good at the time, but it sounds like, and this is going to sound bad, but like, do you get the feeling that they kind of created another Martha?
You know what? I had a moment where I thought that, and I was like, "Fuck no, please God no."
I want you to explain why we say that.
Man.
Because what was Martha's ethos?
Once you're like, what was the whole like? If you're weak, like you like, what was it like? If you're weak, you die, or like something along the lines of like, I'm gonna make you strong. That was her thing. It's
that
like,
was her thing, but like her thing was like if you try to help, that makes you weak.
Right.
And what's Logan's thing right now? Like he's like anti, and it used to be like, okay, you guys want to help people, all right, we're gonna take your shit. But like it kind of like the Vultures, it's kind of like we'll wait you out and then we'll take it over. I mean, he was looking for something specific, but like he didn't really want to murder people. He's like, I'd like to avoid that. I'm Matt Frewer, etc. I'm charming, and I'm projecting, but but the idea is like he was kind of whatever. He was like Gavin in a way. Like he was kind of like, I don't want to have to kill you. I don't really want to. We can work this out. Blah blah blah. But now, he's kind of like, oh, you guys, okay. I've had time to think. Walking in these cowboy boots for 200 miles. I can't imagine that, by the way. I can't imagine what that would have been like. And not only that, but hooking up with your old crew after they beat you up, by the way.
Yeah.
Assuming that's true, for one thing. So that's one thing. But then, like, now he's kind of like on a mission. And you see that in the way he shoots up Wes's bike. He's like, oh, I'm not going to live and let live anymore. I'm going to take your shit. I'm going to make sure you can't use your shit. And if you try to be helpful like these guys, you're going to get it too, because we have all the bullets. And he takes Wes's stuff, by the way.
Right.
He doesn't live and let live. He's like, he takes his shit, destroys his shit, takes his gas. And not only that, he uses him as like a decoy to get the team to be like, give us the oil fields. We're coming after you. Like, we're sending you a message via this guy instead of directly like telling you we're coming after your shit.
Yeah. My favorite part was when they siphoned the gas out of the tank.
I know.
I'm like, oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Brutal.
That's and by the way, and that backpack is Wes's backpack at the end.
I was like, jeez.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't figure that out in the first watch.
Yeah.
That he took all the shit he took from that place.
It took everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like the Vultures, Martha, the Vulture. Did I say Vultures?
Vultures.
The Whisperers, the Vulturers. Oh, he's like the Vultures and Martha rolled into one. Take all your shit.
Yeah.
And that's going to play into the mall thing, because there's an element of, because he can hear Daniel on the walkie means he's close, which means if they were talking together and the other group is close, they might know where they're at. And it seems like at some point, because there are some sneak peeks that suggest that, and I don't know if this is true, but maybe one of Logan's crew, as far as I can tell, captures Dwight.
Yeah, I can see that. It seems like that, yeah.
Oh.
But he's also seen burning a piece of paper that belongs to Dwight. And I'm wondering if that's like a Sherry letter or something like that.
It would make sense.
Right? Yeah. So there's that. Like, are we sure Dwight's going to make it? Will Dwight ever get his haircut? Who knows? I want to talk about something else, though, when it comes to sneak peeks, because I got a chance, because we have AMC Premiere, and I don't think it's really a spoiler, because you do get hints of it in this episode when she's checking her lymph nodes. But there's two elements in the opening minutes and in sneak peeks where you see her walk into a candy shop. This is Grace, and she's with Morgan, and she refers to the jelly beans as candy beansies, and Morgan's kind of like, what? Like, yeah, you know, candy beansies, and he's like, what? Nobody says that. And there's a specific scene in one of the next up sneak peeks where you see her on the ground next to the jelly beans. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's happening. It's happening. I think she's starting to feel the effects.
Uh-oh.
And I'm thinking, if she's having association problems, I'm thinking she has a brain tumor. So things are not looking good.
It's going to be hard to diagnose that.
Yeah. Because they could easily do a fake out and go, okay, she's just diabetic now or something, and she was low blood sugar and hypoglycemic or something. But and which could even actually explain further that one scene with the shovel with Morgan and her, Morgan and Grace, because it could be that Morgan is digging her grave with her.
Right.
Like, I need to make these arrangements ahead of time. Yeah, brutal. Like,
that is so morbid.
But what's really good about that, by the way, is what I kind of like about that is the gist that you get at the end of the tape about Morgan. And this is kind of like he's struggling to kind of draw this out. And by the end of the episode, he finally can because of his experience with Tess. Like, him helping her come out. Nobody did that for me. I wish somebody would have done that for me. By the way, and I write this in my notes, another reason why Rick is an asshole. But anyway, like, fight me, okay? At me. But, I mean, just in this one instance. But, with Morgan, this one instance, this one character. Rick shits on Morgan, like, the entire time until he finally goes to Fear. But it's the idea of, like, him, like, I forgot to do something. Like, I forgot to say goodbye to my family. Like, I forgot to let this go. It's been the core thing that's made me, that's destroyed me. That's made me do things to myself that I shouldn't have done. You know, all this time. And he's like, and by the end of the episode, it's like, each one of these characters is saying, help me do this, help me do that. I need help doing this. I need help letting go. I need help saying goodbye. And I'm linking this to Grace now because I think in a way helping her prepare for her end will help him say goodbye. And then right? Like what, like he has the chance to say goodbye.
The closure he needs. Yeah.
This is like a living way of like, I have a chance to say goodbye. Like, and like probably an extended period of time for him to do that, you know? And I just had a terrible thought.
Yeah.
I just had a terrible thought. Like, what does it look like? This is so bad. What does it look like for Grace? Like, okay, so she has a brain tumor, right? But what if she dies from that brain tumor? What kind of walker does she turn into? Like, I'm sorry. That's like, does she turn into a walker? Like, there's like a science here that we're not, and it's terrible because I love not only her character. And I don't say this about many characters. Oh my
gosh.
But like, I love her character, but I also love her as a person. Like, if you watch Talking Dead, that was probably one of the best Talking Deads I've ever seen. Like, the show kind of goes off the rails a little with Maggie Grace. Like, okay, we just lost the Instagram stream. I'm going to pop on really quick. But I want to make a point to, like, we'll wrap it up. So give me a sec.
All right,
depends
guys.
on where that brain tumor is.
Does it?
If it affects motor. Well, I'm saying when she comes back, if it's sitting on something that affects motor skills, then she might be a wonky walker.
Wonky walker. Okay, let's get back on. Okay.
Whew.
Okay.
Keep my eyes open.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, so enough about that. I think the only place we need to go from now is really just probably the end, and I think that kind of brings everything full circle because watching Morgan be able to say goodbye. There is the thing about the tree, and I think we're all kind of in agreement that it feels like a Madison character or a Madison type character who does this, right? who like the thing with Madison is like every time she said this in the last seasons, like when I go out of the diamond, when I go out into the world, I look for the beauty out here, and then I could come back and say like I saw that. Yeah, I'm still here, seeing the beauty out there or the good out here. You know, allows me to keep going. You know, I'm still here. And so that's what really, really reminded me of Madison. And I'm kind of like thinking to myself, it was even noted in Talking Dead. You do see this evolution between the first episode where like Alicia's wearing leather, a black shirt, and dark jeans. And like in this episode, by the end of the video, she's wearing kind of almost like what Madison wears, like a kind of beigeish khaki camel jacket, like a light blue shirt. Like her character's colors are getting lighter, you know? So
along with her mood and her attitude.
Yeah. Or like, and she's still trying to find herself in a way. Like she's trying to find another way, like other than killing, and which there's a lot of Morgan parallels to Alicia's character. Yeah. Like all life is precious. Like in the beginning, even she refers to, she says, I used to do cleanup and Morgan used to clear. Yeah. And by the way, when he's running towards Tess's house, he literally says, we're clear. Like we're clear. And I'm like,
I didn't catch that. That's good.
There's a lot of parallels here. And then like Maggie and not Maggie, Althea goes, don't move your foot. But like there's a lot of Morgan, and which is kind of cool. Like you like to see the striation between Morgan and Alicia to Madison, like that striation, that gradation of characters, like how they kind of like they're like in this like little triangle of mood, how they intersect with each other. But I think other than that, there's only one reference I want to bring up is like when Logan refers to the walkers that are coming to West and calling them the marching band. He kind of says it in the way that's like The Walking Dead. The way he says it, if you pay attention to how he says it, band. Yeah. He says it like you. I don't think you want to be here when the marching band comes. Like he says it kind of like The Walking Dead. Yeah, I thought it was very clever. And now I want to know if Matt Frewer made that up. I think that really kind of wraps it up. I kind of like it kind of brings us back to the beginning of the episode when we mentioned what this episode means. And it really is their message from the top of the season started one way, like absolution and to make up for the things that we did, etc. To kind of like forget all that. And Dwight says it best. He goes, I don't even know if I can make up for what I did, but I want to at least know that while I'm here, I'm helping people be their best self or helping them exist out here in the world, you know, like to make things better for them. That's what he says. And I think that's kind of where they're going. And I think that's the impression that this video gives the watcher. And it kind of and just the message of, you know, do something, you know, help someone. You don't have to help someone. Just do something that makes the world something like it was before, or, you know, and help someone if you can, and prepare a box or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's morphing into something that's like from a negative to like something that's world building. And I think that's what Fear is trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
So, I guess with that, I guess we'll see you on Sunday night. This podcast is going to come out real soon. And, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'll give you all the details, via social media about the giveaway. Probably tomorrow or day after, something like that, or not. We'll see. Until then, we'll see you Sunday night live after Fear the Walking Dead's next episode.
I wanted to say thank you live on air for my Thorgon t-shirt too.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've had it on the whole time.
Thorgon 9, shout out. You're going to be in the notes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Rachael.
I was so excited.
And you're going to meet him in Sonoy soon, right? In September?
That's right.
That's awesome.
September 7th.
It sounds like a whole bunch of people are meeting up too. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty fun.
More than a handful of us. It will be fun.
I really hope you guys do go live, and just kind of the meeting of the minds. That's really
I'm
great.
sure there'll be some of that.
I think he's going to go out with a bang because I think he's quitting social media after that. I think probably he's kind of mentioned that. Like,
maybe for like a minute.
He's like, I'm quitting. I'm done.
He'll be back.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you. Thank you for sticking in there and being with us. I will be adjusting the stream details, and you'll see the episode come out soon. In the meantime, take care. Lovely episode. Can't wait to see what comes from Fear the Walking Dead. We'll see you on Sunday night after the episode on the East Coast, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Night, guys.
Good night.
Pew. Pew, pew.
All right.
It's just us chickens. Okay.
Right. All right, man. I am heading to bed. I will see you next week.
Indeedly do. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for making it out and bringing your laptop
Oh,
home.
yeah. Right. Well, I usually leave it there because if I bring my son to work with me, he plays on it all day.
Plays with the computer.
So we'll be taking that back with